Alright, in the previous video, I stopped at question 10 and I gave you question 11 to 15 as assignment. So some of you have done and have submitted. So I'm going to continue from question 16. If you are watching this for the first time, I'm solving 2025 Physics JAMB past questions. So follow me carefully as we continue in solving these questions. These questions might be your questions. Don't be surprised. JAMB can do anything. And by the way we are working these questions, you get yourself familiar with how JAMB asks their questions. And some of the questions can be crossed, like they would ask similar questions in another way. So let's go right into it. Question 16 says, a steel bridge is 100 meters long at 15 degrees Celsius. What structural feature is most appropriate to accommodate thermal expansion during hot season? Now, bridges expand during hot seasons, and that's those that are made of metals like steel. They expand. And if they expand, there can be cracks, there can be malformations, bending, and so on and so forth. So what do engineers do to avoid this, to prevent this? So we have four options: use of thinner beams, painting the surface white, use of expansion joints, and use of insulating materials. You can guess this question correctly. Which do you think is the answer? So the correct answer is the use of expansion joints. Now, they ask this question instead of steel bridges. Sometimes they say railway tracks. Railway tracks. Please, the answer is the same. Note. Anytime they are talking about expansion in bridges and railway tracks, they use expansion joints to prevent malformation, bending, or cracking during hot seasons. So question 17 of 2025 JAMB Physics past question says, a block of mass 5 kg slide through a rough incline of 45 degrees. If it moves with constant velocity, find the coefficient of friction between block and the plane. This question is very, very simple too, but if you don't know the formula, you cannot answer it correctly. So I have shown it here that for constant velocity on an inclined plane, the friction balances the motion. So you always use the friction coefficient is equal to tan theta. So we are given our angle, the angle of inclination, to be 45 degrees. So tan 45 will give you the answer, which is 0.71. We move to question 18, which says, which of the following changes will raise the center of gravity of a vehicle the most? Will raise the center of gravity of a vehicle the most? A. Removing the engine. B. Adding mass to the roof. C. Flattening the tire. D. Reducing the wheel base. I believe this question is also very clear, direct, and logically you can answer this question. You don't even need to be taught. Now we are talking about center of gravity. So which will affect the center of gravity? Which will cause the change or raise in the center of gravity of the vehicle the most? So the correct answer is adding mass to the roof. By the time you add mass to the roof, that raises the overall weight distribution higher, increasing the center of gravity. Question 19 says, the barometric height in a mercury barometer is 760 millimeter. If the same pressure is measured using water, what would be the height of the water column? Okay, so understand this question. We have two kinds of thermometer. One, height is measured. Height has been given to us. The second one is made of water. The first one is mercury. The second one is made of water. So if the same pressure is measured for both, and we know the height of first one to be 760 millimeter, what would be the height of that of water? So we have a formula here we are going to use to work that out. So pressure in one, height in one is equal to pressure in two, height in two. This is just very, very simple. It's just like your P1 V1 equal to P2 V2 in gas laws of chemistry. So they say equal pressure, so they have not given us any pressure. So you can pick any number for pressure. Let's say 2 millimeter mercury, then 2 millimeter mercury for both sides, because they say equal pressure. So you use height for one, which is known. Then you cross multiply and divide to get your answer. So I've already rearranged the formula for you here, which is H2 is equal to P1 H1 all over 2. You already know your parameter. Whatever you use for P1, use for P2. H1 is already given to us as 760 millimeter. So you change that to meter and then you work out, you get 10.3 meters. This is very simple question. But if you don't know the formula, you can't get it. Remember, they said equal pressure. So they have given pressure, more like they have given it. Though they didn't write any value directly, but they have given because they say equal pressure. So you can pick any value. If you pick 5 is the same. Nothing will change the calculation. Hope that is clear. We move right to question 20 that says the fundamental difference between the thermocouple and mercury in glass thermometer is that. Okay, I hope you are observing that there are questions around thermometer, thermometric substances, and so on in 2025. I have told my students again and again that there are some topics that they are top topics. JAMB asks like 5, 10 questions in one single topic. That tells you that that topic is a hot cake. Like JAMB asks a lot of questions, and this thing repeats year after year. So I try to draw my students' attention to focus on those top or key topics and make sure they master them very well. Let's go. We are looking at fundamental difference here between thermocouple and mercury in glass thermometer. So A here says thermocouple measures only very low temperatures. B says mercury thermometer is not calibrated. You this, by the way you are seeing some answers, you already know they are wrong. C says the thermocouple uses expansion of metal. D says the thermocouple uses thermoelectric effect. So what's the correct answer? The correct answer is the thermocouple measures temperature using thermoelectric effects, where voltage is generated between two metals. So that's the difference. While thermometer, mercury in glass uses the mercury liquid. Question 21 says, which thermometer is most suitable for measuring rapid changes in temperature? I hope you are also observing this question under thermometric substances and thermometers. So just if you are smart, you will know JAMB patterns of asking questions and you will know where to study more, where to devote much time. So the question is saying which is most suitable for measuring rapid changes in temperature? Mercury thermometer, gas thermometer, resistant thermometer, and thermocouple? Which one do you think is the correct answer? Of course, D is the correct answer because it uses electricity, so it's faster. It doesn't wait for liquids to expand. Thermocouples respond very quickly to temperature changes. Question 22 says 200 grams of ice at 0 degrees Celsius is added to 500 grams of water at 60 degrees Celsius in an insulated container. Notice all this English. Oh, there is a reason why they say insulated container now. They say what's the final temperature of the mixture. Understand the question. 20 grams of ice at 0 degrees Celsius is added to 500 grams of water. Ice into water. The water is at 60 degrees Celsius in an insulated container, which means there is no heat loss to the outside environment. What is the final temperature of the mixture? This is very simple. Let's work it out together. So, though they did not give some parameters, you need to know some constants. First of all, change your weight of the ice to kilogram, which will give us 0.2. Mass of water has already been given as 500 grams, which is 0.5. The initial temperature of water is 60 degrees. Initial temperature of ice is 0 degree. Specific heat capacity of water is 4,200 joules per kilo per degree Celsius. Then the latent heat of fusion of ice is 336,000 joule per kg. So you need to master some of these constant values. So after that, we need to calculate about two things before we get to the final thing. First, we need to calculate heat required to melt the ice, and the formula to do that is Q is equal to ml, where M is the mass, L is the latent heat. Then by that, we already know our mass 0.2, then you multiply it by the latent heat. That gives us 67,200 joule. The second thing you need to calculate is heat needed to raise the melted ice from 0 degrees Celsius to the final temperature, because it will now change temperature. In that case, you are going to use Q2. You are going to calculate Q2, which is equal to MC, open bracket, final temperature minus initial temperature. Remember, it's the final temperature we are calculating, so we don't know it. So, substituting the values here, you get Q2, that's the heat required to raise the temperature from 0 degree to the final temperature, is 840 T. T stands for temperature. So this is very simple. All you need to do is to know what you need to calculate and to master your formulas. I'm going to make another video to write out key formulas that you will need, that will help you to solve JAMB questions very quickly. So watch out for them. And I'm also going to create a video on tricks that will help you to quickly solve physics questions. So watch out for that video. So after that, we move to the heat lost by the hot water. So heat lost by the hot water, that's Q3. You are going to use similar formula as of Q2. Just observe the progress. So this time around we are dealing with water. Previously we are dealing with ice. So the only difference you may observe is change in mass from 0.2 to 0.5. So all the calculations remain the same. So by the time you calculate the heat loss by water and the heat needed to raise the temperature of the ice block from 0 degree to the final temperature, you can now calculate by using heat loss is equal to heat gain. That is Q1 is equal to Q2. So by doing that, you are going to get 20 degrees Celsius as your final answer if you collect the like terms. So this question 2 is very simple. Under specific heat capacity, this topic is also very, very important. I will advise you to give your time to study that topic. So question 23 says a 1000 watt heater converts ice at minus 10 degree to steam at 100 degrees Celsius. How long will it take to convert 2 kg of ice to steam? 2 kg of ice to steam. So we have 1790 seconds, 1980 seconds, 2400 seconds, 2600. So how do we approach this question? The first thing is they ask us to calculate time. So time is the quantity of heat required all over power. So you follow similar pattern with the first question we solved. The only thing is that this time around, when you get the total heat required, you now divide by power, which is 100 watts. That will give you time. So to calculate time is the total heat required divided by the power rating of the electric equipment. So that will give you 2400 seconds. You can calculate that to confirm. So we have question 24, which explains why boiling point increases with pressure. If you add pressure, why is it that boiling point increases? Instead of the water to boil at 100 degrees Celsius, for example, if there is pressure, the water will not boil at that temperature. So what happens? The reason is because, okay, let me not say the answer first. Molecules need less energy, density increases, molecules need more energy to escape, latent heat increases. Can you guess the answer? All right, I will not answer this question. It's too simple. Okay, this is your assignment question. Question 24 is your assignment question. So if you are part of my student, just send me the answer to DM as usual. If you are not part of my student, drop your answer in the comment section. Question 24 is your assignment question. It's a very simple, it's too simple. I will not answer it. So if you want to be part of us, you are not my student, just drop in the comment section that you want to be part of us. I will send you the link to join our group. Thank you. Question 24, assignment. Oh, don't see my answer. All right, so we go. A tuning fork of frequency 512 Hz produces resonance in a tube closed at one end. If the speed of sound is 340 meters per second, what is the shortest resonance length? What is the shortest resonance length. So here we come into sound waves. Okay, it is always very, very important if you know the topic you are dealing with. This helps your memory to bring back all the formulas related to that topic. So how do we approach this question? So closed tube resonance, if you want to calculate closed tube resonance, you use this formula. L is equal to V over 4F. And this is very simple. So the speed of sound wave is given as 340, which is for our V. And frequency is also given in this question. So what is left? 512 is the frequency, which is times 4 now. Then we have our V, which is speed of sound, as 340. So you just divide. L is equal to 340 all over 4 times 512. You get 0.17 meter. Very simple. So question 26 says a progressive wave is given by y is equal to 0.15 sine open bracket 400t minus 20x. What's the phase difference between 2 points 0.05 meters apart? So here we enter into waves, still under waves. This is our second question. The first one was on sound waves. So here we are given wave equation and we are asked to calculate phase difference. How do you calculate phase difference? Phase difference is equal to k change in distance, the constant change in distance. So this time around, from our equation, observe that k is given as 20. K is given as 20 and change in distance. They did not just give us distance, they give us change in distance directly. Had it mean they give us distance 1, distance 2, we subtract to get the difference. But this time around, the change in difference in distance has already been given as 0.05 meters. So we just substitute it. So the final answer will be 1 rad or radian. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. So if you convert this radian to pi, it will give you pi over 2. I think I did this calculation yesterday, but you can also do it to confirm. Yeah. So we have question 27, which says, which wave property determine pitch and loudness respectively? Which wave property determine pitch and loudness respectively? Still under sound wave, observe that A, frequency and amplitude, wavelength and velocity, amplitude and wavelength, frequency and velocity. So the correct answer is pitch depends on frequency while loudness depends on amplitude. So A is the correct answer. Yes, frequency and amplitude. The next question says, in photoelectric effects, which factor does not affect kinetic energy of electrons? So here we come to solar, photoelectric effects. So which of these does not affect the kinetic energy of electrons? A, frequency, B, work function, C, intensity, D, Planck's constant. The correct answer is C, intensity. Changes the number of electrons but not their kinetic energy. So since we are talking about kinetic energy, intensity is the one that does not affect the kinetic energy. So question 29, we are almost done. A ray of light travels from air into water. What happens? Oh, I think we've observed this a lot again and again. If you put a stick in water, you observe as if it bends. Yes. So what's happening? As the light rays moves from one medium to another, refraction occurs. Why? So they say A, speed up. As it moves from air into water, it speeds up, bends to normal, slows down, bends to normal, slows down, bends away, speeds up, bends away. So correct answer is B. Light slows down and bends towards the normal in denser medium. Question 30. We have 5 more. Yes, to go. Why does a red object appear black under green light? Hey, you still see under wave. Okay? We are still under wave, but this time around we are talking about colors. We are talking about light absorption Yeah. So why does a red object appear black under green light? A. Red absorbs green. B. Red reflects green. C. Green is brighter. D. They cancel each other. So the correct answer is A. Red objects reflect red light but absorbs green light. So let's see. Red objects light green light was on red object, so it absorbs the green light, so the green light becomes absorbed, so there is no light, it becomes black. Okay, so we move under electricity and electronics. They say a cell of EMF 6 volts and internal resistance 1 ohm is connected with a 3 ohm resistor. Another 3 ohm resistor is added in parallel. Find the total current. Now listen carefully under this electricity. Let's understand the question very well so that we can solve it very easily. A cell or a battery. Okay, no, let me not say a battery. A battery is a combination of many cells. Let me just say a cell. A cell of EMF 6 volts. So EMF is given and an internal resistance of 1 ohm. Observe, internal resistance is given, is connected with 3 ohm resistor. Another 3 ohm resistor is added but in parallel. Find the total current. So to work this question out, here is what we will do. First of all, we need to calculate the resistance of a parallel resistor because we are having two resistors now. We have internal resistance and we have two resistors connected in parallel. I don't know if you have observed this. Let me take you back to the question again. Do you see that internal resistance 1 ohm? The first resistor connected is 3 ohm. Another resistor connected in parallel. So the first thing we do is to calculate the resistor, the total resistance that are in parallel. For internal resistor, we just have one, so there is no calculation, it remains the same. So, and to calculate the total resistance for resistors in parallel, we use this formula. R1, R2 all over R1 plus R2. So we all know that it's 3 that is given for those two resistors connected in parallel. So the final answer will give us 1.5 ohms as the total resistance in parallel. Now the next step is on the middle box where you calculate the total resistance this time around, both internal and the combination of the two parallel resistors, which we have 1.5 plus 1. This one is for internal resistance. This 1.5 is the sum total of the resistance of the resistors in parallel. So our final resistance or total resistance is 2.5 now. What's the next step? The next step is to calculate current. Remember, it is current we are asked to calculate too. Yes, and voltage is given, EMF is given. Because to calculate current, remember V is equal to IR, Ohm's law. That's what we are going to use this time around. But V is given, but we don't have R. R is given anyway, but we need to calculate the total R. We need to calculate it even differently, resistors in parallel, internal resistance, put everything together, and then substitute it under Ohm's formula. So having gotten our total resistance now, we already have our EMF, which is 6 volts. So we substitute current is equal to V over R. From V is equal to IR. EMF voltage is proportional to resistance. I hope you haven't forgot this formula. So with this, we now just divide or multiply, divide rather. So we have 6 divided by 2.5, and that gives us 2.4 ampere. Very, very simple. Very simple. If this thing is very hard, if you didn't understand it, please drop it on the comment section. Tell me, Mr. Emmanuel, please explain question 31 again. I will find my way to reach you. Thank you. All right, question 32 says, it says 2 long parallel wires carrying current in opposite direction. The magnetic field midway between them will... So we have 2 parallel wires now carrying current in opposite direction. How will the magnetic field be? What will it be midway between them? It will be 0, it will be perpendicular. Sum of both fields depends on the square distance. So the correct answer is Fields reinforce each other at midpoint. So since they reinforce each other, it's going to be sum of both fields, which is C. Question 33 says, why is soft iron used as electromagnetic core? Soft iron as electromagnetic core. A, because it's good conductor. B, is permanent magnet. C, easily magnetized and demagnetized. And D, it has a high resistance. So what's the correct answer? It can be easily magnetized and demagnetized. That's why it is used in such places. 34 says, what increases maximum induced EMF in a rotating coil? What increases maximum induced EMF in a rotating coil? A. So what the question is trying to say is that in a rotating coil, what usually increases maximum induced EMF? So A, decrease in turns. B, increasing rotation speed. C, rotate slower. D, use a thinner wire. So EMF increases with faster change in magnetic flux. So it increases rotation, increase the rotation speed. If you increase the rotation speed, you get EMF. I hope you know rotating coil. That's what we use in our generators between two magnets. A generator that produces electricity. Yes, the coil will be moving between two magnets, and the faster your gen works, the more the light, the EMF, the current. So, but if your gen is working slow, it means the rotation between the magnets is slower. So, do you expect much EMF? These questions are sometimes logical. You don't need this thing to answer them. Okay, here we come to our final question that says, what causes eddy current? What causes eddy current? A, mechanical rotation. B, heating. C, changing magnetic field. And D, atomic alignment. So what causes eddy current? What causes eddy current is changing magnetic field. Changing magnetic field induce circulating current, which is eddy current. Oh, okay. So this is not the final question. Oh, we've answered 15 questions. So here is okay. We will stop at 40. So sorry, I thought it's 35. Okay. So energy released if mass defect is 500 and is 5 times 10 raised per minus 4 kg. What is the amount of energy released? So this time around, you are going to use Einstein's energy equation. E is equals to mc square. So we have already the mass given. Then you put your c, which is the speed of light, and then multiply. So E is going to be energy release is going to be mass times the speed of light squared, which is B. Okay, next question says, a sample contains 2.4 times 10 raised to the power 20 atoms with half-life of 1 hour. Atoms left after 3 hours will be what? This question is simple. You can work it in two ways. You can work it in by either saying you pick the total number of atoms, which is 2.4 times 10 raised to the power 20, divide it by half. That's 1 hour. So half of that number is what will remain after 1 hour. After 2 hours, divide that half into half. Are you getting me? Divide that half that you got after first hour into half. That will give you what will remain after 2 hours. For 3 hours, divide the half you got after 2 hours. That will give you the number of atoms that will remain after 3 hours. Another way is to use formula. Since it is 3 hours and it is going to be divided into half, how many times? 3 times. Because the half-life is 1 hour. And we are considering total number of 3 hours. So it is going to be divided in 3 halves. So half times half times half is 1/8. So it will be total number of atoms divided by 8. If you want to use formula, that's it there. After 3 half-lives, the remaining will be n0, which is total number of atoms all over 8. So the correct answer is A. You can use your calculator also to confirm that. 39 says, in semiconductors, band gap is between There is what we call band gap in semiconductors under electronics. So it's between what? A, valence band and core level, B, conduction band and nucleus, C, conduction and valence band, and D, valence and Fermi level. So the correct answer is band gap separate valence and conduction band. So it's between valence and conduction band. Question 39 says, in a PN junction diode, the depletion region widens when A, forward bias, B, reverse bias, C, heated, D, illuminated. So which is the correct answer? The correct answer is B, which means reverse bias pulls charges away, increasing depletion width. Please note all this. Question 40, which is the last question now. Which device acts as a switch and amplifier with 3 semiconductor layers? A, transistor, photodiode, Zener diode, and LED. The correct answer is transistors controls current and amplifies signals. So the correct answer is transistor. Thank you for staying with me. If you have watched till this end, please just write in the comment section, Mr. Emmanuel, I have watched till the end. Why I feel you deserve a clap for staying till the end is because many students lack the patience to learn for a long period of time. They suffer from what we call low attention span syndrome. If you want to keep them for 5 minutes to do something, that's a too serious thing, and such people cannot become anything. Sincerely, sorry to say, with all apology, if you are like this, you need to just work on yourself. You need to trust God to help you and do some things. The reason is because you cannot become a master in anything. You cannot master anything if you have short attention span. Even if you are doing business, you need time to think. You need to stay over a matter for a long period of time. Observe it, analyze it, check it, learn it, master it, and so on and so on. So if you have watched to this end, I want to specifically honor you. I want to just see you, those that have stayed to this point. I just want to see you. So drop in a comment, Mr. Emmanuel, I have watched till the end. If you are coming across my video for the first time, just know that I'm a JAMB coach. Last year I did this kind of thing and a lot of my students got 250 and above, even above 350, 300 marks I have from my own group. If you wish to be part of us, no problem, you are welcome. I can join you, add you to our WhatsApp group. If you just want to continue learning on your own, you can subscribe to this channel. It will help others to discover this channel. You can share this video with your colleagues if you have learned something. Don't keep it to yourself alone. Share it with others. It will help them and they will be happy that you shared. Like this video. Thank you. We meet in the next video, biology.